Flippity-piss.
3,
Flippity-piss.
What's up, everyone? How y'all doing? Are y'all ready to mess with the Fekers? It looks like it's like 7 p.m. here right now, but that's because it's rainy outside, and so there's like no light. There's like no natural light coming. What up, One Drunk Man? How you doing? HRB, thank you for the tier 1 for 5 months. Appreciate that. And then Static Age, thank you for the tier 1 for 8 months. And then I am Karcha, coming in hot with 16 months. Damn, son. So yeah, today I don't really have like a huge plan for what we're gonna do with all of this that I have laid out in front of me. I've got 3 new switches that I want to test out and mess around with. Focus is obviously on the Fekers, because these frankly are bad. Also, I cut my finger earlier today, so I got a nice little gash like all like across here, and it was like it would not stop bleeding for like 30 minutes, which is why I'm a little bit late. I was making myself a sandwich, and you know, I just cut myself because I'm dumb. Don't use a 9-inch chef's knife to try to open a package of cheese. It's not worth it. But yeah, so we've got the Fekers, and then we've got both of the mode switches. Obviously, these are the linear version, so I guess I'll have to grab some linear switches, kind of test against for this. We're going to be using my Sirius today for this testing, because it's the only board that I have where I have a second plate and I actually can do a hot swap for. So we'll be a palm plate, which we may run into some issues with to some switches, some certain switches. Like for whatever reason, Zelios don't like going into like staying in the palm plate for whatever reason. But I'm excited to mess around with these switches. First and foremost, let me get this my current build out of my Sirius, and we can get into here actually let's go through what our contenders, or what we're gonna be weighing the Fekers against. So we have, let's see, we'll start with regular switches first. We've got just a straight up Lilac, just stock. These aren't lubed. We're gonna go mostly unlubed switches today. Some of them are lubed just because I don't have any non-lubed ones. And then we'll maybe mess around, lube them up a little bit, and so yeah. Then we have an original. This is an original T1. I don't know if I can get it to where camera can see it, but this is in fact the KBD Fans branded T1. That's one of our switches. We have a 67 gram Zelio V1. Also, I just realized that my chat is all fucked up. Let me move you around. There you go, chat. Go over there. Boom. Where are my alerts now? They're right there. You can go over here. All right, so this is a original Zelio V1 67 gram variant. We have a 78 gram Zelio V2. We have a Novel Keys Blueberry. We have a Duroc Moyu Black switch. Then we have a Glorious Panda. And then we have, finally into our Franken switches, we've got our Holy Panda. It's the standard Holy Panda. We have a Xanda I know this one looks a little bit funky because this has I think it's it's an inver top with a Yak bottom and then a Zelio stem. But also, Chewy, thank you for the Prime Gaming sub for 15 months. But yeah, this is a Xanda. And then last but not least, we have a Zyko, a singular Zyko switch. On this one, I went ahead because we are using a hot swap board. I went ahead and pulled the leg down as much as possible, the one that controls the leaf coming in and out. And then I just bent it over, so that way we don't run into any issues where it messes with that leaf and we lose our tactility or break the switch. So that way we can just kind of pull it in and out and not have to worry about that. So yeah, these are all of our switches that we're going to be comparing to. It's quite a few options. Some of the more popular options, especially things like the Holy Panda, the Zelio switches, obviously, and then of course one of my more recent favorites in the Moyu Black or Everglide Dark Jades, depending on where you're looking at them from. But let's take my series apart, get this build out so we can get this guy in, and we can start messing with the Fekers. I will say, Fekers, they're like kind of meh. They're very meh. They're not awful, but they are not great. They're nowhere. No, not nowhere. I think it'll be interesting to see how a switch like the Feker compares to a switch like the Zelio V1, which is a very old switch. At this point, it's not, it's obviously not even made anymore. They're fairly hard to come by. Bishop Brimstone, thank you for the follow. Are they cheap? The Fekers? Dude, guess where you can buy the Fekers? They are cheap. You can buy them at Walmart. Fekers are available at Walmart, which is, it still blows my mind. Got serious. All right. Side question: do you need to put dielectric grease on Band-Aid stab mod? Can you put 20530? I mean, you could put dielectric grease. It's not gonna, like, I'm not a personal big fan of doing the Band-Aid mod. I don't think that there's much of a point to said Band-Aid mod. But yeah, I mean, you could use dielectric grease. It doesn't really matter. You don't want to use a ton. You're just trying to get it all just lubed up enough where it's not dry. Space Cables, shout outs to Mr. Space for the title. Meet the Fekers. Okay, but Walmart in-store or online only? Online only. Online only. It's not actually sold by Walmart. It's like, how Amazon has, products from other like stores, like a storefront within Walmart. It's like how you can buy stuff from KP Republic or Drop on Walmart, on Amazon, but it's not. It's from like fashion something. It's from like a fashion. It's like from something listed as like a fashion website, which is weird. Here, I'll look up the website here in a bit and put it in the chat. Let me just get this played out. Okay. Guys, to the side. God, this weight is dirty. All right. I'll get you the link to the Fekers. Let's see. Yeah, they're sold by Novation. Novation. It's like Fashion Nova, but scuffed. There, you can click that link if you are looking to get fecked. All right, so let's take a gander now at the Fekers. So I first and foremost, I want to give some props because this box, high quality box. Let's see, what do you have here? Doesn't have anything, just says made in China and then a SKU number. All right, let's open this up. They've even got branded Feker little sealing stickers. This is top quality. Have I tried Crytox? I have not tried Crytox Dragon Ball Z. Get figgity fecked, as we could say. I'm forever gonna call that. I know it's BDZ and not DBZ, but I'm gonna call it Crytox Dragon Ball Z. I have not tried that. I need to. I should have a whole bunch of other stuff coming in the next week from Kinetic Labs, but it doesn't include HXT or XHT and BDZ. One of our mods calls it extra hotbeds. Nice. So there they are. These are the Fekers, dude. Dude, I'd love to try it. I would love to try it. Would love to try some extra hotbeds. Except not the hotbed part. I'm not a big fan of that. Like the bed cool, slightly warm, not extra. But these are the Fekers. Dude, why is this messed up again? Come on. Scuffed streamer, please. Chat going rogue. Dude, I thought I fixed it, but I didn't. Now it's off. I think I have the wrong. So for those of y'all who don't stream, there's two different types of like copying a source in OBS. And I think I have it copied onto something else. I think it might be the interview scene that I have to where it doesn't work correctly. All right, so this is a Feker, dude. It looks like a holy panda. It somewhat feels okay to the touch. I will say, you're like, oh, it's a holy panda. And then you put it next to a holy panda. You see, it's like a couple shades lighter, you know? It's like if you had WS1 and WS2 next to each other. You're like, oh, wow, there's actually a pretty decent difference there. They almost nailed the stem color, though. It's like real close on the stem color. So let's take a look deeper into the Feker. Let's go into we're gonna go into the void. Slightly more orange, yeah. Yeah, it's like a little bit more vibrant, I guess, would be the right word. All right. We're gonna take this guy apart. We're gonna enter the Fek. See if I can show off. Let me get in tight. Where do I go? Tight. We're getting in tighter. All right. Try to show off these stems. So then maybe you can see the differences between the two stems. No. All right. I can't fucking hold on to shit, dude. I'm so bad. All right. Okay. So I might have, by me dropping them, you might not know. You might not be able to realize which one is which. But can you see? Oh, okay, chat. Question. Which one is the Feker and which one is the actual panda stem? Or, I guess in this sense, Halo True stem. What do you guys think? The left side is, in fact, the Feker. One of the things that Chewie was excited about this when he saw these and he wanted to try and see is if these were, in fact, like, if the stems were good. Try to see if I can. I need something that's like got a black background so you can see it better. Wait. The problem with the Fekers and the reason why they don't feel as good is the stem legs. It's hard to. It's terrible. Terrible. All right, the stem legs. I have multiple tools to be able to hold these steady. Okay. God damn it. Okay. Okay, so when you're looking at the two of these next to each other, you can see that the panda stem, the panda stem, sorry, they're so close that even when I'm like not, when I'm looking at the screen, see how the panda bump? Basically, by looking at the stem leg, you can see the profile of that bump, right? And you see that there's very little travel on the actual stem leg before you get to the bump. And it's fairly pronounced. I want to see a visual comparison of the tactile art. Yeah, I'll have to send, I can send some to Neb. And then when you look at this, while similar, for whatever reason, the stem legs, I just launched and it came back. It's much like, not much longer, but enough It's one of those things in this situation, any little bits, is gonna provide a variance in that switch. Also, the bump itself is less pronounced on the Feker, on the Feker stem. Here, switch back to the leg that shows the. So this is the panda. So you can see. And then the Feker. And the biggest thing is the housing for this. Like, this is the Ember housing. Ember housing, and I put it next to the Feker housing. And it feels like cheaper. It just feels bad. It feels awful. I'm not like, it does not feel great. So let's put this back together. Let's do a raw stock comparison of all the switches. I'll let you hear them. I'll mess around with them for a second, give you my thoughts on which ones I think are the best. And then we'll go from there. I also, because I feel like one of my favorite things about Holy Pandas is the spacebar. I've got a spacebar stab which will lube up, and we can see how the Fekers fare in the spacebar challenge. Let's get these guys. All right, orientation. I think we're gonna start with. We'll start with what is presumably the least tactile into the most tactile. So we'll go. Field view. Oh, actually, I want to. Facing. Also, what up, Lang? How you doing? See these ZLV ones? You're just like, nah. Palm plate? No, thank you. All right, so we'll go. Let's see, so we'll do like non-pandas. And then we'll do like what the like panda. This will be our all right. This will be our order. I'm gonna do the Fecker. The Fecker will go last. Panda. My tactiles are Zeal V1. I love the smaller rounder bump. Yeah. All right. All right. So. All right. This is our Tactile Showdown from left to right. We've got 67 gram Zeal V1s. We've got Lilac Tactiles. We've got OG T1s. We've got 78 gram Zeal V2s. We've got Zandas. We've got Novel Keys Blueberry switches. We've got Duroc Moyu Blacks. We've got the Zyko, the Chewy Special Zyko switch. We've got the Glorious Panda switch. We've got a Holy Panda. And then finally, we have our Fecker switches. Our Fecker Panda. Our what's the actual... Let me go over the top here. And last but not least, we've got our Fecker switch, 3-pin key switch, DIY replaceable switches for mechanical RGB gaming keyboard. All right, let's grab some. Let's throw this in the top. We'll grab some keycaps, and then we'll see how they fare, how the Fekers stack up to the competition. Fecker wins, dude. If Fecker wins on anything, it's name. You know, we're slacking out here with the way we're naming the Switch. If you've never heard Palm, you've never used a Palm plate before, Palm's not it's not going to be very pingy. It's going to be a little bit darker than any kind of metal plate, but it's going to be a somewhat, in my opinion, a somewhat more natural sound. I feel like when you use Palm, it is somewhat more of a natural sound to the Switch itself, rather than being influenced by the metal. It's also a little bit flexy boy. A little bit of a flexy boy. All right. I also realized that I forgot. We got one more. We cannot forget the mode switch. Let's get this guy in here. We'll put it up here. Because I think it's around this area of tactility. Remember exactly. The signal. It's the the mode signal. Remember, signal. Another. Dude, Sirius is so good. People are gonna turn into the stream right now and they're gonna be like, man, he's putting a keyboard back together. 33-minute build. What the heck? What the heck? Oh, I guess so. So much flexi. Might need to put. There's so much flex. It's okay. It's okay. We're getting feckin' flexi. I shouldn't have grabbed this keycap set. Let me grab something that's not a ton of different kits. South-facing switches, yeah, it's just because of the hot swap PCB. Not my preferred style of PCB, but might have to actually fill this guy up. Alright, I'm not focusing on what row these switches are. I mean, not switches, but the keycaps. What's the PCB? It is a 1-up. It's an older 1-up PCB. Might actually have to fill this out. Let's just get fecked everywhere. We need a little bit more support. So let's get super fecked. We went Foods to the Soul of America. Mayo and ranch, please send help. I mean, I feel like she's not like crazy wrong. But I feel like you're missing burgers. I feel like whenever you talk to someone that's from like Europe or something, and you ask them what is something that they look for, it's burger. It's the burger. All right, we're gonna get fecked all over. Just remember, boys and girls, this middle row, that is our testing zone. Just need a little bit more support. The PCB doesn't move around like crazy. Might not have to go full. Oh, she's from the Midwest. Like, not true. This is like anchor switches when you're soldering, but for when I'm testing. I'm sure this is really fun to watch right now. I guess this is kind of normal. It's like would be like a normal build. not using black screws for the weight. I had some for mine. I mean, I never see it, so I'm not really worried about it. To be fair. It's kind of my thought process for that. It don't really matter. Might be here. A little, couple more little Fekers in here. I don't know why I keep like tapping on the switch. Like, okay. All right, now we got a little bit more support for our testing. Screws in. Did anyone try, or is anyone planning on trying for the iron? Did it already run? No, it was running. I know it's running today. Can't remember if it was supposed to run this morning or later this afternoon. Iron is over. So that's what I figured. Did anyone get the iron that they sought after? Ooh, keyboards. Snake Gaming HQ, what up? How you doing? Fortunately, we're not doing any build today. We're messing with some Fekers, aka a Switch that Huey and I bought from Walmart, and we're doing some testing. So, all right. I welcomed a little baby teal iron into the bison herd. I love that you phrased it like that. That's awesome, Streaking Bison. Congratulations on your victory. Can't decide between teal and red. Entered for... I don't know what that means, but cool. Can't decide between teal or red. Man, that is a hard decision. Good luck. They're both so nice. Agreed. I know I said I wasn't going to be worried about the row profile of these keycaps, but we're not doing a whole lot today, so we might as well. Dude, don't worry about it. You can find something for it. Just get the one you like. Don't worry about the keycaps having a match. Get the one that you think is the prettiest. Okay. Still sounds a little funky. Calliope is a VTuber, if I understood correctly. There's a raffle for some inspired board for this Inculus. The Onyx. Never heard of these switches. They're from Walmart and they are not good. So you're okay. That's why we're literally trying to make them less bad. Let's see what we can do. Patient 9, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Also, if you plan on using a hot swap PCB a bunch, don't do what I'm currently doing, which is putting switches in without weight on the back of it. How you break sockets. I'm not really worried, honestly. I plan on using this PCB. Okay. Man. All right. Oh, I forgot. Get the mode. Mode. Okay. So I think the only two switches in here that are lubed are the Zyko, which is right here, and the Blueberry, which is right here. God, this is so bad. Okay. All right. So starting off, Zeal V1. It's a nice, light, tactile switch. I'm going to turn music down. Okay. Starting off, Zeal V1. Nice, light, tactile switch. Not too crazy. Easy to type on. Simple. Next up, we've got... This is the Lilac. It's a little bit more tactile, a little bit sharper of a bump. I'll let you hear all these after. Again, it might sound a little bit weird because we're using a PCB that doesn't have it's not fully built out. But Keeb Noob, what up? This is the Lilac tactile. This is, it's slightly sharper than a Zeal V1, and it's a little bit more tactile. Oh my god. This is such a train wreck comparatively. Okay, OGT1 is... You still can't hear the switches? Yeah, you're going to hear the switches later, dude. That's what I just said. I literally just said, I'm going to go through all of them, describe them, and then I'm going to let you listen to it. This is the T1, and this is a train wreck in comparison to the Lilac. You can really feel and audibly hear, which you may be like, you have headphones on. How are you hearing? These are planar headphones, I can literally hear like everything that happens around me. They block like no noise. Yeah, it is like a huge difference between those two. So if you got OG T1s, like you're like, man, I hate those. They do not compare at all to what Duroc is doing now with the similar mold. We'll go to the next Duroc, which is these new mode switches. Ooh. A little bit darker. A little bit lighter, obviously, than the... just slightly lighter. This is the Signal. It's an MX clear profile. It's not bad. I like it. It would be better, obviously, with a little bit of lube. But it's pretty decent. Moving on, we'll go to the Zeal V2. World of difference between the T1 and the Zeal V2. Zeal V2 is just tighter. That was the big thing. T1's initially not very tight. Next up, Xanda. You still get a similar tightness. It's not quite as tight of a feel. Xandas have a little bit different of a sound. I don't know if it's even really necessarily much better than a regular Zeal V2. This one is the Blueberry. That's right. Blueberry. Very sharp bump. A little bit heavier. Sharpest bump so far. Next up will be the Moyu Black. To me, the Moyu Black has a similar tightness to the actual like switch. Like the way, when I say tightness, I mean like how it's constructed and how it all comes together and how it feels. It doesn't have a ton of wobble. Like the wobble, if you look at the wobble of like you see that versus something like that. That's a T1. That's a Zeal V2. Much tighter of a switch. It just feels like the parts are meant for each other in a sense. The Moyu Black is a very pronounced sound. It's crisp and clean. I really like this switch. Then next up is the Zyko. This is a lubed switch. It's not the Zyko versus like a Moyu Black is going to be a little bit more. It's a longer bump in itself. Like it doesn't feel like the bump really finishes until you bottom out. And it's not quite as sharp. And I think a lot of that has to do with this Zyko is in fact lubed. Then next up, this is the Panda. Okay, so Panda. Panda feels good. It's not great. It's not bad. It just feels good. This is the glorious Panda. And then next up, Holy Panda. These two, the Holy Panda and the Glorious Panda, are very close. These two are very, very close. And then, last but not least, the Feker. Okay. All right. I'll let you listen to him now. Okay. Now's your time. Where's my boy Pratt Pinguino? It's your time. Okay. Zeal V1. Lilac Tactile. Original T1. Mode Signal. Zeal V2, 78 grams. Zeal stem in a Halo housing, Panda housing, or Xanda. Novel Keys Blueberry. Moyu Black. Zyko. Glorious Panda. Holy Panda. Fekers switch, 3-pin key switch, DIY replaceable switches for mechanical RGB gaming keyboard. Okay, so LPPRR. What is on the 9 key? The 9 key is a kale blueberry. So, you like the way that one sounds? It's a kale blueberry. It's also because that one's lube. Here's the question. we go through the process of lubing everything, lubing each switch, and then coming back. I do want to say, first and foremost, before we do anything else, the Fekers are not the worst switch in this row +1. By far and away, the worst switch here is this. And that is the OG T1, the KBD fans branded T1. By far and away, this is the worst switch on this whole deal, because it feels weird. It does not feel very good. It sounds bad. It doesn't sound like the parts should go together. Like here, like listen to this. That's T1 to Zeal V2. Like switches that came out around the same time. Oh man, it just sounds so bad. And then you look at something like what Duroc is doing more recently, like the Moyu Black is just so much better. I don't know. All right, so now we're going to try to see if we can make the Feker better. So I guess what we do is we go through. I hate to do it. It's going to take a little bit. Oh, Psycho came out with it. Oh, yeah. Like in, but not really. All right. Now that we've listened to them from a unlubed standpoint for the most part. Let's get these guys out of here and let's lube them up. We're gonna use 3204 on everything. How that changes. See how that changes the effect. Okay. What are my opinions? The Glorious versus the Holy Pandas. I mean, they're good. They're good enough. Where did I? All right. We're gonna lube switch. I forgot. These came out of a port. We're not lubing this one because he already lubed. This guy. All right. I've been thinking about getting some Glorious because where I live, I can get 70 for around $50, whereas the Holy Panda would run me about 100. I would say if that is the case, I would definitely get the Glorious Pandas, because I don't think anyone in their right mind would say that the stem doesn't fit. Okay, right. The Glorious Pandas or the regular Holy Pandas are not 3 times as good as the OG Holy Panda or like the drop Holy Panda. Would not. I would just go for the regular, the Glorious Pandas at that point. Yep. Did I just break that up? I did. Yay. Britt, hey, what up? How is your Saturday? Is anyone doing anything fun today? Saturday. Anyone doing anything hype? What are the Fekers switches? They're what you see scattered throughout this keyboard. They are a Holy Panda. It's not clone because they're not quite there. Interpretation, we'll say, from a company called Feker. They are sold and distributed through Walmart, through a website called from a seller called Novation, I think. Yeah, Run GMC. The description is literally, it is literally from Drop's website for the Holy Panda. So we've got, what is this? How many switches do we have in total? Well, we got 6 here, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We've got 11 switches going up against the Fekers. Right now, we are lubing all of these switches, trying to see how the Feker fares. The more you mod it, the more you do. Any chance you could maybe tell you what it's called? The one that just played or the one that's playing currently? If it's the one that's playing currently, it is called Restless Minds by an artist named Yomodi. I don't know if I said that right. Chances are good I didn't. But it's called Restless Minds by Yomodi. Come on. The only ones that I'm worried about getting mixed up. This is okay. What are y'all's favorite switches at the moment? Well, right now I really like the Moyu Black switch, which is right here. And let's lube these puppies up. This is a really tight. Jesus. This guy. Okay. Little shake. Really enjoying yellow inks and banana splits. Nice. And the lube sits a little bit. It decides it wants to somewhat separate. Sometimes you got to give it a little shimmy, a little shake. Get all the oil and everything back integrated into each other. All right. We're going to do a simple light coat of 3204 onto the rails. These switches. I'm just going to do a quick little dab on the springs. Again, this is not for a build. It's just we're just trying to remove a little crunch. Trying to get a little bit of that. New to this custom thing, I can't believe how much it took me to find out about the hobby. Nice. Welcome to the game. Alrighty. We're not lubing the legs on any of these guys. So obviously going to be a little bit of residual stuff that's going to make its way over there. But for the most part, the goal is to stay away from the legs. A little bit heavier than what some people would do. But you know what? It's okay. It's really heavy, but this switch sucks. It is it. Typically, I would use like an oil on springs, but I know for a fact that I get them all mixed up. I always lube tactile legs. Well, if that's what you enjoy, then that's what you enjoy. I want to preserve the tactility of each switch, so I am trying to stay away from lubing the legs and just lube the rail. Honestly, on most of my switches at this point, I don't even lube the stem very much or at all. I just lube the housing. It'll be interesting to go back in this VOD and watch and listen to the difference for each of these switches from pre and post lube. Stuck. Get out of the hole. What up, Evolution? How you doing, my dude? Are you having a fantastic Saturday? Currently planning to get some Gatoron Cap Yellows and Glorious Pandas to see whether linear or tactile gain. Nice, dude. Not Connor. Hi, Connor. What up, dude? There you go. You come back Tuesday and get Chewy. You're welcome. Why are you putting together said video? The pandas that I have a interesting leaf sound to them as well. But granted, I haven't really like lubed them up to see if it is fixable. Any recommendations for newcomer in the hobby? For what? The reason I started because I asked Hey Hot said hi. Okay. See. Well, good luck on your adventures in getting as many streamers as possible to say hi, Connor. And I'm happy that you wanted us to be a part of it. 27? 72, he got 3 or 4 that were unfixable. That sucks. I lubed my Glorious Panda Leaf with super light coating of their G-Lube and it fixed the ticking noise that they had. Only a few had it though. I haven't messed with mine enough. I have like a ton of switches that I've like literally never... don't have anything. I have more switches than I need. By a very significant margin. Connor just coming in to get his hay and then he's leaving. I see how it is. Connor's not a real fan. Wow. I'm just fucking with you, dude. Have a good day. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Saturday, Connor. Also, their G Lube smells like a dirty grill when you first start it up and it's burning off. That I feel like when I get something like that and it smells terrible, like when I first got Novelty's creams and just like the smell of them, I feel like I shouldn't be using that. Like it makes me feel like I should not use that product because there is something wrong with it. It shouldn't smell like that. Novelty's blueberries were so stank when I got them, I had to put them next to an open window to air them out. Exactly. It makes me like feel like I shouldn't use them. Like makes me feel like they shouldn't be a. Like I get it, some materials are just stanky. They're just stanky. But they're palm, right? Yeah, they are. They are in fact palm. That's your brain trying to keep you from getting poisoned. Super normal human reaction. It's the same one that keeps little kids from eating new foods. True. I'm actually putting some. That is the top. Use one. Later on. What is the board with double shot on it? That would be a Bauer. See you, man. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. What type of lubricant is that? It is a giant jar of 32. It is just a bunch 3204. I have not used a ton of. How are the Fekers compared to the Glorious Pandas? Not good. Glorious Pandas are better. I need to message Theremin Goat and be like, listen, dude, I will send you some Fekers. I want you to do some testing on them. I want to see what you see how the Fekers compare in your mind. I'm sure he would. I'm sure he would be all kinds of down. Blue. Okay, now we're almost done lubing our 9 switches. And then we'll put them all back in. I'm gonna test them out. See if the Fekers are still not very good. Did I try the pewter switches? I haven't tried pewter switches yet. I haven't tried pewters. I haven't tried bobas. I would like to try both. But like I got boxes of switches that I haven't used. I got too many switches. I need some time. Although I will say, the lavenders make me want to desolder my bower and put lavenders in. And also I want to change the stabs. But what's in the bower? The bower has the lubed and filmed mauve switches. I did say mauves. So I might at some point here soon rebuild the bower. I want to change out the stabs because fuck the rock stabs. I hate stabs. Not a fan. Well, I thought I heard palm. Well, it's a palm plate in my bower. Oh, I like the mauves in general. The mauves are really good. I think they're super good. They're just not as good as the lavenders. IMO. That's a lot. Okay. All right. Everything's been lubed up. We'll see if we can get the Fekers to be better. Maybe they're better with lube. Maybe they're better with lube. Let's see. We'll get the same order going. We go lilacs, OGT ones, shit ones. Okay, and then we did mode switch here, mode signal. I think we did Zeal. Did Xanda. OU. And Okay. All right. Let me get this. Get the caps on here again. Okay. I'm just gonna let y'all hear him. This is a Zeal V1. Duroc Lilac. OG T1. Mode Signal. Zelio V2, 78 gram. Xanda. Kale Blueberry. Moyu Black. Zycos. Glorious Panda. Holy Panda. Feker switch, 3-pin key switch, DIY replaceable switches for mechanical RGB gaming keyboard. acts they are, the Panda clones. And honestly, they are much better once lubed. They're actually not bad. Like, they're about the same. They're not quite as the bump of like a Lilac is a little bit more round, but they feel much better. Lube, it made them sound much better as well. I think there's no doubt, if you were to go back and listen to it, the Zyko, and at least to me, the Zyko and the, like, these three switches sound the best. Blueberry, Zyko, Moyu Black. Moyu Black is like, it's like the crispest, I think. Like, it's very sharp and concise in the way it sounds. It's just slightly lower than the Zyko. How do I feel about aqua switches? I haven't tried them. Well, I have, but not like an extensive time. Or done something like this where I put 11 or 12 different switches next to each other and mess around with them. I would say the Fekers. Listen, these Fekers, if you are looking for a switch, I wouldn't recommend them, but I would say if this is the only thing within your budget, I would get them. I would purchase these over Zeal V1s, definitely over OGT ones. These little motherfuckers are way better than OGT ones. If you've got OGT ones in a board, I would recommend getting them out. These are awful. These are awful. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect them. I expected these wholeheartedly when I sat down and I put all the switches I had together. I wholeheartedly expected the Fekers to be the worst switch out of these 11. But it's not. I would say it's probably this. I like. There's something I don't like about this mode switch. Maybe is it where it is? This mode switch isn't bad. It just doesn't sound. It just doesn't have. It doesn't do it for me sound wise. Feels good, but it just doesn't do it for me sound wise. But it's fine. It's good. I would say it's on par with the Lilacs. Is that a Hyperfuse set? Yeah, it's Hyperfuse Origins, the first one. Now, I think a lot of people's questions will be between these two switches. The real Panda, right here, versus the Glorious Panda. As I said earlier, to LPPRR, the difference between the two of them is not worth a significant amount of money. I would say when you're looking at switches and they're close to each other, the things that I like to look at aren't necessarily, if it's close enough, things like stem wobble, things like aesthetics start coming into play. Now, obviously these are very similar aesthetically. Do you want baby poop or baby puke orange? Or do you want skin tone, whatever this color is? This is like flesh colored crayon. Yeah, we'll go with that. So do you want flesh colored crayon or do you want baby puke orange? But they're close enough in the way that they feel and sound. Obviously, if you were using a metal plate, you would have a much different feel or much different sound. There'd be the ping from a metal plate between these two. But man, I would say don't make Xandas. Don't make Xandas. Don't do this. Don't. They are not better than regular Zelios. They sound different. The regular Zelios feel much better. Blueberries, while sounding pretty dang good, are still really scratchy. I would say my favorite switch out of all of these, if I were to have to rate these 11, I would go number 1 is Zyko's, number 2 is Moyu Blacks, number 3 is the OG Panda, number 4 is the Zelio V2, number 5 is the Glorious Panda, number 6 will be the Blueberry, number 7 will be the Lilac Tactile, number 8 will be the Feker. No, number 8's the Mode. Number 9's the Feker. Number 10 is the Xanda. Number 11 is the Zelio V1. Number 12 is the shithole that is the OGT1. I cannot overstate how awful this Switch is. Likely none of you have it, but this Switch is so bad. I need to go back, I need to go find more of my T1s because I have a couple other different T1 variants. I think I have something. I think this black one is a T. Is this? Yeah, it's a T. There is no way that it is as bad. I mean, yeah, kind of the same. I don't know. These like OG T1s are surprisingly awful. I think short of doing... I think the Fekers are every bit worth $38.53 for 100. With that being said, I don't think that I would ever spend money on them with the intent of putting them in a board. Unless it was just a meme. They are definitely usable. They're definitely decent switches. And I think that as I've seen based on the way that this switch is versus like a Zelio V1, it does just overall, it's hard to explain because it's a lot in the way that it feels. Obviously Zelio V1s have, you look at stem wobble, right? Like the stem wobble of a Zelio V1 is pretty intense. And this is a later V1. This isn't like an early V1 that had a significant issue with stem wobble. You look at something like a Lilac, it's much lower. This is a T1. This is a Zeal V2. To see how it's much less pronounced. It's hard to see with my Band-Aid finger. Look at that. V1 to V2. Lot more going on here. Zanda housing tightens it up a little bit. Blueberry, not really going anywhere. Moyu Black, about the same. Tolerances are getting better. Zyko, a little bit more wobble. Zyko's just because it's a Franken switch. Like, things aren't meant to be together. They're not manufactured for each other. A little bit more stem wobble going on there comparatively to like something like a Moyu Black, or even like the Glorious. The Glorious Panda is still, I would say, is still better than Zyko. Yeah, stem wobble's not as big of a thing. Regular Panda is about the same as a Zyko. Obviously, the top housing being the same. Top housing and stem, it's going to have similar stem wobble. These stem wobble, the Fekers, not great, but not bad. Like, you compare, I don't know if you can actually see how the difference is in the stem wobble, but it's definitely a little bit, it's definitely more pronounced on the, looking back to something from like 2017, 2018, the Zelio V1, to something that was released pretty recently in the Fekers. Yeah, I mean, it's an okay switch. Mixy FPS says he ended up putting Feker stems in some Okomochi / T1s. Dude, these T1s are awful. Should we try to make a... All right, let's make a Feko. A Zyker. A Zeker. Let's make a Zeker. This one's for Chewy. Mr. Chewart Little. This was the initial thought. Are these good enough to make a budget Zyko? Because these are... You don't feel bad trashing switches that are 43 cents. Are they like Chinese knockoffs? They are, in fact, Chinese knockoffs. They are not a new entity. Well, maybe. I don't know. Say that. These are... They are a Chinese knockoff of a Holy Panda. Time to test the Zekers. We're going to test it next to the Zyko. Just ruined it. Holy. That. Be warned, chat. I know I just bent the fuck out of a leaf, but there is a leg. But I did it so that way we don't break it. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? Okay. All right, so this is a Feker top and stem in a Zelio V2 housing. All right, let me make it to where y'all can hear it. Okay. I'm not going to tell you which one's which. I just want to know, chat, which one you think sounds better. Interesting. We got a couple people saying the right, a couple people saying the left. All right. Whoops. Come on. Okay. Personally, I think that it's hard for me not to be biased in terms of the way that, because I'm typing on it and the way that it feels. I think the Feker with the Zelio bottom, so Feker top, Feker stem, Zelio bottom, I think it sounds a little bit different, but I don't think it actually sounds better to me. I prefer the Halo stem and then Inver top of the Zyko. I think it just sounds a little bit more crisp and clear. It's not it's not as bright as the Feker combination, but the Holy Panda combination, the Zyko, is a little bit darker, a little bit more concise of a sound, I feel like. Definitely in the field department, the Zyko is much more pronounced of a bump. The cap's back on here. Yeah, the bump kind of gets... It just kind of gets lost. And this, like, you know it's there. But it doesn't... like the Zyko kind of like its bump, it just feels more aggressive. It's obviously it's a touch lighter of tactility with the Feker. More in line with like a stock Panda or even a stock Zelia. I don't know why I'm going back to the Lilac. It's way less tactile. I unfortunately lifted a few pads on my newest DZ60 PCB, so now I'm back to my old custom keyboard. I can't use my new black inks. Fortunate, man. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully you can get a new ZZ60 or a new DZ60 here soon. But yeah, I don't... Listen, guys. So this whole thing was about whether or not the Fekers would be worth it. We thought it was hilarious to purchase switches on Walmart and see how they are. I mean, they're okay. You know, they're... If you've got $40 and you want to snag some of these switches, sure. You get a nice little Feker box. Put them in. And they're not bad by any, like, they're not awful. They are not on the level of these, of the OGT ones, where, you know, you type on it and you're like, what the hell am I doing? This is bad. This is bad. You know, they're not on that level. Like, they're decent switches, and they're definitely worth every bit of $38.54 for 110. Can't get mad at that. Lubing them, 3204 seemed to do a pretty good job at making them feel a lot better. But I would say when it comes down to it, you can snag, if you want a, in my opinion, the best stock switch tactility wise, I would go for the Moyu Blacks. I think they just feel the best. They have the best tactility. They sound pretty dang good, and they're not really, I mean, they are expensive, but they're not on the level of like Zelios. And at the end of the day, if you're spending $500 on your keyboard case, or, you know, say you got an Iron 165 this morning and you spent $424, you can definitely spend some money on your switches. As far as these mode switches, they're solid. If you're not looking for something that's super, super loud, these are not super, super loud. They have a decent medium tactility. It's definitely, it's taking a shot at going for something that we haven't seen in a long time, which is a Zeal V1 style of tactility, or a Cherry MX Clear tactile style, where it's like medium. It's not going for a Holy Panda. They feel good. I mean, especially I lubed them up with 3204. Just lubed this guy up, and it feels good. It doesn't sound crazy. It's not super deep, not super. It's just clean sounding. I could imagine this would be on a board that is fairly loud. This would sound pretty freaking good. It would sound pretty good. Or if you wanted something that was a little bit of a quieter build, this was a great option. So shout out to Mode. Thanks for sending me these. I like them. I'm gonna do a little bit more. I might do like a little video on them, like a YouTube video. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. but I think they did a good job with these. They're better than the Fekers. These are better than the Fekers. And these are the linear ones. I haven't really messed around with these. Let's take a gander. Do you know any of the EU websites? I only know about Mech boards. If you want to check some other ones, you could check out Prototypist. Other than that, isn't it like mykeyboard.eu? I think is another one. These are another JWK linear. They feel good. They feel good. They're really good. They're 63.5 gram springs to the mode reflex. They're 55 cents each for these. So I'd say if you're looking for a medium tactile switch, check these out. Check out the mode signals. That's what these are called. These are a medium tactile switch. I would say definitely worth it. 63.5 gram spring. So definitely like a medium to lower weight. Lower weight, definitely. Medium-ish. I don't know. It's hard to say lower or say medium when Chewy's up there at 98 grams. The reflex switches, these are the linear versions, also 55 cent switch, gold-plated 63.5 gram springs as well. These have the alpaca V2 molds for the stem, and then a custom top housing mold, which they're good. They're good. I would say not as good as Lavender's. Not as good as Lavender's, but these are good. I like 63.5 grams for linears. I think it sounds really good. I think it feels good. Yeah. When you move your mouth away from the mic, your voice disappears. Like this. Like this. Mommy on Twitch, what up? No, when I move sideways. Like this. This. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you, I know. It's because it's I am 100% aware of that happening. Because it is the type of microphone that it is literally designed for that to happen. This microphone is made for you to be up inside of it. Are those switches south facing? Yes, they are. It's because of the old PCB. Isn't that an issue? It is not really an issue unless you are it's only an issue with GMK on certain rows. I'm not building this board right now. This is just using for testing. It doesn't change the way it sounds or feels unless you're using the row where the caps can impact the switch. What is my preferred linear spring weight? I like 63.5. That's what this the build that actually does go. The build that actually does go in this series that I'll be putting in after. This is the Nolive cream switches. These are lubed with 205 grade 0 with a 63.5 gram spring. And I really enjoy these. I really like them a lot. No heavy boy roll for me. I mean, I like heavier. I just feel like this is just as good. Like I don't have a huge preference. Like I'm perfectly fine using heavier springs. Like I enjoy my Iron 165 with Psychos that have 78 gram springs. I think just for linears, I like it a little bit. I like linears a little bit lighter. So. And as you can see, Mommy on Twitch, this is the build that actually goes in this board, and they are not south-facing switches. I mean north-facing LED. They are south, which is what you want, and this is what goes on there normally. But I'm gonna take the rest of these Fekers out. Honestly, I think the puns of and the jokes around using the word Feker alone, around using the word Feker alone, are worth buying these switches. You're making a PCB and you read about it. Yeah, you want to have your switches. You want to have south-facing LEDs. Lots of, I think now, because the issue has been brought up more often, a lot of hot swap boards are also using south-facing LEDs, but this is an older one, which is why it doesn't have that. Fluffy 12, what up? How you doing? You missed us messing around with these Fekers. Come on. Oh, I'm not even, what am I doing? I'm about to rip up my plate. All right, actually, let me. Who? Oh, Tom? It's been 2 hours. I'm pretty much done. Who should we host? Where should we throw the love to? Love to watch people build. Ramen Champ, what up? How are you doing? You missed us messing with these Fekers. We were messing with the Fekers. Tried them up against like 11 different switches. What is a Feker switch? It is a switch that we purchased from Amazon. There, that's the link. They are supposedly a Holy Panda clone. They yoinked Drops pictures, and they yoinked Drops entire about this item. If you go look at the about this item on that link, and then you compare it with the Drop Panda switches, you'll see that it's exactly the same. They even left things like that it was made from Halo switch stems, which it is not. And they are 70 million times clicking, dude. 70 million times clicking. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So we were just trying to see if we could get these Fekers to be better. Because they're not awful. I will say they are definitely worth the $38.54 or whatever it is purchase. But they are not. They are definitely not a Holy Panda. So They're definitely not a whole cam. What's funny is I think I'm going to give these switches to Chewy. He's going to mess around with them. I think he might actually do a full build with them. I think he's going to lube them all up and do a full build with them. So you'll want to stay tuned to the channel for the next couple months to see when that finally happens. It's a good cam for a starter streamer doing keyboard builds. Dude, honestly, just get some like C920s until you can afford like a really afford like a A6000 or something, or A6100 I guess now. It's not really worth buying like a cheap DSLR. Yeah, dude. Exactly. Or yeah, I guess now you can use your phone. That's a good option as well. Dude, who cares about a watermark? Who cares? Who cares? Just have fun. Just have fun with it. I bet you Ramen Champ will say the same thing. Just have fun with it. There's no sense in getting about quality, worried about viewers. Just go for it. Have a good time. Viewers come, they come. Like, the camera that you're seeing, that's this camera, this one. I bought this before I even started doing streaming. I bought this because my old job, I had to make videos for work, and I wanted something that was going to be really good. So I bought this. And then when finally, after like a year, after a year, I bought, of having a C920, which I still have, and I use that in Discord. I bought A6000 for face cam, for a second camera. But, and then as far as what mic do I use, this is a Shure SM7B. Not worth it to buy, by the way. Just buy like they have like the SM V7VB or something like that. The one that they just came out with. That's USB, get that one. If you're gonna get a mic like this. But again, I had all my audio stuff that I have, like, before I even started streaming. I want to build a split keyboard, but I can't find a good cheap price. What is a good cheap price for you? Like, what's your price range? What's your budget? You know what's funny is, now that I'm thinking about it, we built a keyboard for someone that we gave away using OGT1s. I feel bad now. Given that I never really used these like OG, like these, but I guess they got better. These are like the OG T1s. Like KBD fans on the Switch T1s. And they are so bad. Man. I feel bad that we made a board for someone and gave it away. It's like it did not stand the test of time. For those of you who've never built a Sirius before, but for whatever reason, specifically the ANSI PCB, there's a little like there's like a little bar that covers the USB port, and or not covers it, goes over the USB port, specifically the ANSI PCB. You have to like kind of wiggle it in there. Every split board will be under that 250 to 300 price point range. We're talking about the standard ones. Yeah, I feel like you could probably find a split board pretty cheap. Like, I mean, if you're not worried about getting something like super custom, you can get something from like Kinesis Technologies. They do a bunch of stuff. All right, thank you for watching me mess around with switches and just put my board back together. Wait as I go. And that's the remnants. But let's find who we can host. I think if I remember correctly, we should be back to like a normal build on Saturday. So a week from today, we'll have another like regular build. If not, I may do like a rebuild, or we might do like another Troring stream where we just mess around with something. I need to replace the stabs on some of my boards. I'm just tired of dealing with Duroc stabs. They're just like not very good. The V1, I haven't tried VU2s, but the Duroc stabs just get kind of poopy after a couple months. Also, I agree with the ramen champ himself. Raid someone small. SJ does things. Interesting. Let's see. Makers and crafting, lubing switches and chill. Right? That's a contender. Let's see. You're all good, man. Appreciate you coming and hanging out. Let's do it. Let's do SJ. SJ score does score. We are gonna raid SJ does things. Looks like he's lubing some switches. Just pretty cool. Along the lines of what we were doing today. It's got a cool little lube station that he's going. Ramen Champ, I appreciate it, my dude. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Appreciate it. Let's see here. But again, I appreciate each and every one of y'all from hanging out, for watching, me mess around with like 12 different tactile switches and try to see if we can get a switch that we bought at Walmart to sound and feel better. But yeah, we'll be back on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central. We're going to have the championship for our first month of Keyboard of the Week, the booty final. So come hang out with us. We'll be talking about it. Myself and Chewy, talking about keyboards, having a good time. And then Wednesday, we will be back with an interview. Stay tuned to the Discord to find out who it is going to be. With that being said, y'all have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and we will see you on Tuesday.